And I found out at the very end, as I was still recording, but so we had to scratch that one, and we're starting over, and I'm actually starting this before I leave to go to the Penmar. Shout out the Penmar in Venice. We love you guys. A friend of mine and I go, like, to their sunset sessions every week, which is basically just like a live music outdoor event. It's great. It's so much fun. We love it. I'm leaving here in about an hour, so I probably won't film this whole thing for an hour, but we'll see. Currently filming, I'll show you, in my Vanilla Ice t-shirt. I found this at Goodwill when I was thrifting. You know, shout out all the Goodwills in the area, because honestly, in every area that I've ever lived, because Goodwill just does something. There's so much that you can find in Goodwill or Salvation Army or any thrift store really. But I will say I had a hard time enjoying thrifting in New York City because they always knew what they had. So it was really hard to get some insane deals on things because they always knew. Because most of the thrift stores in New York City would have sections specifically for designer stuff. So you're still getting it at a really great price. It's just, I missed whenever the thrift stores didn't know what they had. And then we're just selling random designer stuff for like $10-20, So gotta say, I miss it. I miss it for sure. So yeah, gonna go to the Penmar tonight. It's a lot of fun. I've had some pretty hilarious experiences so far at the Penmar, and I'm sure there's more to come. One of the most memorable of the 3 times that I've gone has been I went to grab food, and I had, full disclosure, was a couple drinks in, okay? And I went, got my food, which was a quesadilla. As I'm walking back to our spot, I spot this golden retriever, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to pet it. I tell my friend, I was like, I'm gonna go ask to pet their dog. I go ask them, and they're like, yeah, of course, like, absolutely. And I go to bend down to pet the dog, and I have like my quesadilla plate in this hand, and I get to pet the dog, and I hear something hit the ground. And unbeknownst to me, my quesadilla had a couple of things of sauces, and one of those sauces was sour cream, and the sour cream decided it was a great time to cut a backflip off the plate, hit the ground, and just explode. It literally just exploded, and I was like, I'm so sorry, and I tried to clean up a little bit, and then we just ran away, because I fled the crime scene. I was not gonna stay around wiping sour cream up off the ground. I did, but there was some that was like in the grass. I was like, it's fine, like, it'll be okay. And then we ended up going back and apologizing to the guys, and I was like, let me buy you guys a drink for that, because I feel pretty bad. So all was well. But that was actually really embarrassing for me, honestly. So yeah, going to the Penmar, super excited, love that, going with my friend. I'm going to San Francisco tomorrow. My mom and my aunt are flying in, and we're doing all the stuff, all the things, but I'm driving like 6 hours to San Francisco, and then we're all going to drive together down the PCH. So today I had to clean out my car, which I hadn't done. Definitely been more than 6 months. It's been a minute. It's been a while. Like, actually cleaning out the car, taking out the floorboards and, like, cleaning those and getting all the trash out, going under the seats and everything. I mean, seriously, unproudly, I could almost live in it. If anything happened and I had to, I probably could. Now that it's cleaned out, not so much, but there's a lot in there, I have to give, myself some respect for being always prepared for an apocalypse or for the world to just go into flames. Speaking of things going into flames, I don't know if you guys saw, but a car blew up. A car blew up in New York City, I think. It didn't really look like a car blowing up. It looked like somebody planted something there. But I saw it was pretty crazy. I also wanted to read you guys something. But this was posted on Facebook by somebody from, like, my hometown. And they were like, is this real? I'm going to read it to you, and I want you to tell me if you think it's real. Okay? This is from the state of South Carolina, from the office of the governor. Okay? It says, Dear citizens of South Carolina, Governor Henry McMaster has officially signed House Bill 417 into law, making organized line dancing illegal within the state of South Carolina effective May 15th, 2026. Under the new legislation, public line dancing at clubs, festivals, family reunions, and other gatherings will be prohibited statewide. The bill specifically bans synchronized dances, including but not limited to the Cupid Shuffle, Cha-Cha Slide, and Boot Scootin' Boogie. Visitors may face fines ranging from $100 to $500, depending on the size of the gathering and number of repeat offenses. This is, remember when we were talking about how I can't read? This is a prime example. And I've already read this once. A couple of times, actually, preparing to make sure that I could read this. State officials say the law was introduced in response to increasing public safety concerns involving overcrowded dance floors, traffic disruptions, and excessive boot stomping. Governor Henry McMaster released the following statement: while South Carolina is a state built on tradition and respect, we must ensure public order and safety for all residents. Law enforcement agencies across the state are expected to begin enforcement on May 15th, 2026. And then it says, residents are encouraged to replace line dancing activities with approved recreational alternatives such as card games, fishing, and seated social events. Sincerely, Henry McMaster, Governor of South Carolina. So somebody read that thoroughly and thought, I'm going to post this on Facebook and ask if this is real. Because this sounds like something that could be legit. I'm not calling out the name of the individual, but girl, it was just hilarious to me. Because what do you mean people think that they're going to ban line dancing like the Boot Scoot and Boogie and the Cha-Cha Slide in South Carolina? It's South Carolina. I think we have like the biggest swing dancing competition in the country in Myrtle Beach. In Myrtle Beach. They also have a shag competition in, it's not swing dancing, it's shag. The shag dance. They have a competition in Edisto and in Myrtle, but they have a couple of dancing competitions in Myrtle Beach, I think. I don't know. I personally was never into that, so I never got to go and do those things. I was into just about everything else, though. Just about everything else. So, yeah, apparently in South Carolina, according to the new law that was passed, you cannot do the Cha-Cha Slide or the Keep It Shuffle or the Boot Scoot and Buggy or anything else. So, which I will say, when I saw it, I was like, there is no way that this is real. Like, there is no way. And I went and looked it up. Obviously, it's fake. It's very obvious. But I was like, I wonder if this person who posted it did any research to find out if maybe this was just a little hee-hee-ha-ha joke, And it showed me pretty quickly that it was fake. But I was like, this is hilarious. Like, I really wonder who put all that together and got the word out on that, because that's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Oh my gosh. I've already yawned like 4 times. And this, I've been filming for 12 minutes. Like, I don't know. I just got tired all of a sudden. I think it was because of just how long I washed my car for, because I decided, I'll show you guys a picture. When I went on my road trip to move to LA, my best friend and I thought it was a great idea to paint on my car, and I'll show you what we did. So that's what we did. We put, I'm moving to Los Angeles, and then my Venmo. It's still on there. Mind you, I'm filming this on May 22nd. I took this picture right after we did it. This was February 4th. Anyways, so yeah, I was pressure washing it. It's a lot better now. It's mostly gone. There's still a little bit. It's because I didn't... Okay, this is 100% my fault, but it's because we found these paint pens or paint marker things, and we were like, oh, this will work, thinking that it was, going to be fine. Well, between the fact that we had to keep redoing it because we kept messing it up, and because it was acrylic paint, it's still on. So, yeah, I'm paying for that now. I've gone and got my car washed 3 times, and then I was going to get it specially done by these people who do car detailing and stuff, and they quoted me $300 just for the outside. And I was just like, if you would have said half of that, I would have at least considered it. But you throw $300 at me, shawty, I don't have that. So at least on the spend on the outside of my car, $300 for the whole thing, including getting the paint off. Okay, that's one thing. Yeah, that works. Also, I just don't really get my car detailed that often. So maybe that's just, maybe that is cheap. I don't know, but I have a hard time believing that it is. So I spent at least, I would say, at least 20 minutes with just the pressure washer and, the pressure soap washer and all that stuff just alone. Not counting everything else that I did. So it was, yeah, I mean, that'll do a number on you, honestly, if you're not careful. So, yeah. So we have a name for the podcast, as I said earlier, and it's called Deleted Scenes. Part of the reason why I chose Deleted Scenes is because, well, when I was looking up names, I had one name that was going to be great, and it was going to be great too when I did interviews, and it was great. It was perfect. But it was in use, of course. And then I had a couple of other ones because I really wanted to also pertain to what I do, because I do want to talk about what I do, and we'll get into that once I finish explaining this. But I was going to call it script or something, or the director's cut or whatever, and none of it just really fit. And then I was like, deleted scenes kind of sounds good. Because really the idea of this podcast basically is I want a space where, one, I can just do whatever I want for fun, but also to like talk about things that I don't normally talk about, whether it's like on social media or just in general. And I want the same for people. Like, I'm having one of my really good friends, one of my best friends, Luke. If you know me, you probably know who Luke Arborn is. He's an influencer. We love him so much. And he is going to come on here probably on the 5th episode. We're locking that in. But I really also like for example, like when he comes on here, I want him to talk about like, things that are considered the deleted scenes in his life, like stuff that he doesn't get to talk about, funny stuff, or tell stories, or whatever, behind the scenes type of things that you don't really get to hear and see from other people. Because I think that's interesting, because you see the fashion industry and the modeling industry, you also see the film industry and the makeup industry, and like all these industries that, like, especially like I'm involved in and Luke's involved in, and some of my other friends are involved in, and you do get the behind the scenes. But I don't think a lot of people really go into the detail of like things that happen and things that you deal with and all the things. And so like I really just want it to be that, but also just in general, like in general life, what what maybe people don't know about you, or stories that you haven't told before. And Luke will probably be a reoccurring guest for sure, because me and him, like, we have some pretty good conversations and we have some pretty good opinions on things. So I definitely want to bring him on more than once, and I just know also that he'll enjoy it. So we're gonna be working on that. And I also know too, I think I don't know what he calls them, followers, fans, whatever, will probably enjoy seeing that too, because you get to see a lot of Luke and his personality, but like not in the way that I get to see it. And so it's a fun thing. It's a fun thing to see with your friends. And I have a couple of other actor friends who are definitely wanting to come on. So we'll be having, every now and then we'll have some guests. So yeah, I'm excited. We're rocking and rolling with this thing. People have kind of asked me like, well, what's your goal? Like, what's going to be your main content? What are you mostly going to talk about? And part of the reason why I bring this up too is because I had somebody who was telling me all the things I need to do on social media for it to blow up. And like, oh, well, if I want to get a lot of followers or subscribers or whatever, I want to start making money, whatever. And I was like, I know all of this. I mean, I've been doing social media for a while, not really like in a professional way where that's my main source of income, but I have done it to where that is a source of income. But also, too, it's like, I want to do something that I'm enjoying, that's fun, that I know I will enjoy, that I know that I will continue to do because I enjoy it and because it's fun. And I don't want to put limits on it. I don't want there to be a glass ceiling. I don't want there to be any expectations that I have to meet or goals that I want to reach or whatever. Like, I genuinely want this to be something that I do for fun, and that it is a creative outlet for me, and it's a creative outlet for other people, like people who will get to come on and maybe get to come on multiple times. And I just want it to be something that you come in, you feel comfortable to talk about whatever you want. And that's where I think the fun is found, because once you lose the fun, then it becomes a job, and I really don't want something that I'm doing because I want to do it because I know it would be fun for me as a job. I mean, I do, but like, I really just want to keep the fun. And because the work that I already do, like, it is fun. Like, I get to work on set and I get to do makeup and all of these things. And I really want to keep that. And so I also want something that is fully just a creative outlet for me. Like, I do have reading, and I read books, like my fun books. And I have that, but I want something that I can do that I know I'm going to enjoy, that is public and is out there. So that's kind of my goal. I bare my soul a lot, like, to people and online, and talk about things that are deep to me, or things that have happened to me. My last episode was extremely emotional, where I got into some things that had recently happened and that hurt, and I wanted to talk about it. And yeah, there is the dangers of talking about something that affected your life, that involved someone else, that can probably cause for private drama or whatever. But like, at the end of the day too, I never want to talk bad about people, and that's not what I intend to do. I just want to talk about what happens to me in my life, and the things that go on in my life and behind the scenes. And also too, I want my feelings to be valid just as much as I want other people's, and I want their feelings about their situations to also be valid, because that's important. And, you know, I feel like a lot of times, because I have been through a lot of stuff that comes to emotions, I've been through a lot with emotions and mental stuff. And so, like, also, too, talking about that can help someone. Like, I remember when Brianna Chicken Fry came out about her abusive relationship with Zach Bryan, and I had recently, not too long before that, been in an abusive relationship. And to hear her talk about her situation and the things that she went through and how she's processing and handling it, it literally validated how I felt about my experience in that situation. And it honestly made me feel like what I actually went through was real. Because, yeah, you hear, oh, well, I think maybe he was abusive or she was abusive or whatever. But then once you hear people kind of like go into details and tell the story of things that went down, that's when you're like, okay, yeah, I know I'm not alone. This isn't something that just happened to me. There's nothing wrong with me because it just happened to me. This is something that's wrong with these people who are doing the bad things. And knowing that you're not alone in that, I feel like also helps the healing process. Knowing that it's not just you that's having to deal with this. Unfortunately, there's so many other people, especially women, who've gone and had to be involved in and couldn't get out of or struggled in abusive relationships. And knowing, okay, there's other people who have been through this. They got through it. I can get through it. And that's what, you know, whenever it comes to losing friends or breakups or, you know, struggling in your career, in your industry, that's where I want to talk about those things too, because it's important to know that you got to just get up and try again, because somebody else can do it. And if, you know, they can do it, what makes you any different? What makes it any different for you to try again, or for you to go and do it, or for you to chase your dreams, or for you to get out of the relationship, or for you to heal from this traumatic experience, or whatever it is? Like, what makes that any different? And so, you know, just kind of navigating that. And I think that's why it was important to me for the podcast to kind of have the name and vibes of, yeah, this is fun. Like, this is going to be fun. But also, like, we're going to have the serious moments where, you know, like last episode, I cried. At the end of the day, we're human. We're all experiencing these human emotions that are sad or tough or depressing or makes us angry or whatever it is. Like, I still want to talk about those things too, because being an emotional human myself, I know there's other ones out there, and I want that to be, for this to be a space where not only you feel validated, but you don't feel alone. So that's why there are times where I do want to talk about those deeper things that we all go through. And it's sad and it's unfortunate, but also, too, it helps, because I know it's helped me in the past. It's been a fun learning experience and kind of figuring out how exactly I want this to go, but I really want it to just be fun. I really want to just ride it out, see where it goes. I don't want to have any expectations. I don't, you know, because if I sit here being like, oh, this podcast has to blow up, this has to be the level of, you know, Brittany Broski's or Theo Vaughn or Tana Mojo, like their podcast. Okay, then it's like, what happens if I don't reach that? And also, how long am I going to give myself to reach that? And blah, 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 blah. So that's why I'm like, I'm having fun with it. I'm taking it seriously in the sense of doing it, but I'm not taking it seriously and saying, like, this has to be a serious thing where it has to get to this amount of subscribers and this amount of likes or whatever. I want it to be fun, and I want it to be something that people want to come to and watch, because there are people I know out there who can't listen to a podcast, and that's totally fine. I enjoy my podcast. There are other people who enjoy podcasts, and so, you know, I want it to be a space where people want to come and listen and hear me say whatever on earth I have to say that day, and hear me literally basically have a stream of consciousness. I was talking last episode, started talking about, like, some of my greatest fears, and, like, one of my greatest fears is, like, falling from high up. Like, I don't have a problem with heights, but it's, like, being on the edge of really high up that's what scares me. I'm like, I could fall and die. You know, I have a fear of dying alone. I really want to, like, make sure I'm married with kids before I just, like, hop off the earth, you know? That would be great. I'm really kind of low-key afraid of that. And so, another one of my fears, though, that I feel like is kind of weird is stairs. It's not for whatever reason. There's a reason that I'm afraid of stairs. Because more specifically, I'm afraid of falling down them, because I have fallen down multiple stairs. And I actually looked up the statistics of, like, falling down stairs. So this is what the internet says about how much the average person, you know, like, injures themselves or falls down the steps or stairs. And it says, in the U.S., about 1 million people are treated in emergency rooms for stair-related injuries each year, which breaks down to about 1 injury every 30 seconds. So there's been about 15 injuries since I started filming this. Hope y'all are okay. On an individual level, studies suggest the average person is likely to miss a step once in every 2,222 uses of a staircase and experience a minor non-hospitalizing trip once in every 63,000 uses. Now, I have had some pretty bad falling down the stairs experiences. The first one, there's two that come to mind specifically when I say, like I've injured myself by falling down the stairs. Or like I've had really bad falls down the stairs. And actually for a while, my family had a nickname for me called Grace, because I was one of the most ungraceful people that they had ever met. I still don't know how I feel about that, by the way. But the first one, I was in college, and there was the theater was 3 levels, not counting the levels that were low-key underground. It was 3 levels, so most of the time we were climbing stairs to and from class. It's just about how it worked. And it was my freshman year. I was coming down the stairs with the rest of my class. We were going down the stairs to leave the building. And I get to go to the last section of steps. And these are concrete steps, mind you. And I go to step down the first one. I just missed the second one. And I just butt slided all the way down these stairs to the bottom. And that's not even the worst part, is I had a purse and everything started flying out. My inhaler went flying. My birth control pills went flying. My steroid cream for my eczema went flying. I think an EpiPen. All of these things just exposing me. Literally just exposing me and everything in my life. It just went flying. And then I get to the bottom. Thankfully, almost took some people out with me. Thankfully, I didn't. Everyone else was okay. Bruised the crap out of my tailbone. It was definitely bruised the absolute heck out of my ego. But I get to the bottom and I was kind of like, I'm okay, guys. And everyone started helping me pick up my stuff, which was very nice of them. And they're like, oh my god, are you okay? Are you okay? But that was the first one, and the second one also happened in college. So Sky Bar is the biggest bar in the Southeast, which is at Auburn University. It's huge, and I think it actually might be bigger now because they were building onto it when I left. But when you walk in, 3 steps and I need to make it down, that's it. I'm wearing these booties. Now, the thing about these shoes was I had worn them a bunch of times, but what I forgot, what I didn't realize, is the heel had this little thing on the bottom, this little pad on the bottom that was coming up. Totally didn't think that would be an issue. I mean, when you step down, it just presses into itself. Until I go to these stairs. Mind you, again, 3 steps I've got to walk down. 3. It's not a full flight of steps. It is 3 stairs. The only issue is, on every single step on this little mini staircase is a metal lip. I go to walk off them, the separating piece of my shoe catches the metal lip, I kneeboard down those stairs. I took a chunk of skin out of my shin, I messed my toes up, I thought I broke my toes, kneeboarded down in front of all these people. Also, mind you, sober. Stone cold sober, hadn't had a drop of alcohol. Sober. Kneeboard down them things. Pick myself up. Everyone's looking at me. I'm kind of just I think I bowed. I don't really know. In that moment, when embarrassing stuff like that happens to me, I have really no idea what to do. I just kind of freak out and then I leave. So then had to go and get first aid and everything. That was the worst part about it too was I was going to Miami Swim Week to do Miami Swim Week and walk in shows 2 weeks later. And so I had to put makeup on this massive scab on my shin. I have a scar now. I'm horrible experience. I hate stairs. To put all of that in one sentence, I hate stairs. I have a hard time with them. Don't like them. I've never been friends with them. Falling up and down. How do you fall upstairs? I don't know, but I figured it out, okay? I figured out how to fall up some stairs. Anyways, that's Sky Bar. That's my stairs. We gotta go to the Penmar. I gotta also pick out an outfit because, you gotta look cute when you're going to these things. What else are we doing here if we're not dressing cute? I gotta pick out an outfit because I can't wear this Vanilla Ice t-shirt. So, if you're joining again for episode 3 of now known as the Deleted Scenes podcast, which you guys have been known that, because it was titled that when I was posting my podcast episodes. I appreciate you guys for being here. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Comment if there's any random stuff you guys want me to talk about. Because we got a couple people here now. I think there's 18 of you guys. But we got some people here. If you have questions, whatever. Also, follow me on Instagram at Deleted Scenes Pod or TikTok at Deleted Scenes Podcast. But thank you guys so much for being here. And like I've said the past 2 episodes, and I'm probably going to keep saying it, live, laugh, love, Michael Jackson. Have a great weekend, week, whatever it is. I don't know when I'm posting this because I'm supposed to be in San Francisco. Anyways, catch you guys in the next one. I'm going to shut up now. Have a great one. Goodbye.